Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Night Flame and today I'm going to give you guys a new episode of DC Comics Solicitations. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I love looking at solicitations. It's literally my favorite time of the month, to be honest, because I get to see what's coming up in the future months. You get to see new titles be solicited. You get to see some cool covers. I kind of make like a prototype of what I'm going to order based on what I see. I use League of Comic Geeks, which is a website where you can keep track of the comics you read, you can review. It's basically a community for comic book readers. And I made an account a while ago. I haven't reviewed anything, but this is how I keep track of what I'm going to buy and what I'm going to have in my collection. As you can see on the side, it says my comics. You'll be able to see your whole collection there. I'm not going to showcase mine just because this video is about DC Comics solicitation, so I just want to get to it. But I'm hoping to do this for DC Comics, Image, and Marvel. Marvel solicitations have come out already, but I've already seen it. But might as well do another video just to see what's going on. And I've also been trying to figure out how to do like an in picture to picture video, right? I wanted to do like me scrolling down and at the same time you can see my face. I think I figured it out. Let me know if this works or if it doesn't. I think we should be good. Yeah, I think we should be good, to be honest. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any thoughts on the solicitations for this month. Let me know if you guys are disappointed about something, but this should be fun. It should be just a chill video talking about what's coming up. And obviously, this is going to have spoilers for the comics that have come out last week and probably spoilers for this week as well, to be honest, because sometimes solicitations tends to spoil like important plot lines. So if you don't want to get spoiled at all, and if you want to be, I guess, not in the known of what's coming up within the next couple of months, then definitely don't watch this video. But if you are curious, then let's get through this. Okay, so let's start off with the first thing. We're just gonna scroll down, and I'm sorry about the ads. I could not figure out a way to take it off. I think the best way is to do an ad blocker, which I'll install later on, but I just wanted to get this video out because the solicitations came out today. And while I'm doing this, I'll go ahead and mark the comics that I'm gonna buy and stuff. You see, like I can just pull comic here and it gets added to my list, so that way I can keep track of what I'm trying to order in the upcoming months. Okay, so we're gonna start off with Poison Ivy 47. The writer is G. Willow Wilson. The artist is Leandro Fernandez, who I think is a new artist on Poison Ivy. I'm not too familiar with his artwork, so I'm curious to see what he's gonna bring. But there is a new crossover event called Bad Seeds, as you'll see here. And Bad Seeds is going to be a crossover that's going to connect all the Bat books together. And it looks like it's the fallout of Poison Ivy being the mayor of Gotham. It looks like she's going to be either killed off or maybe betrayed by someone. Let's read the solicitations and see what it says. It says Gotham City's done with Mayor Pamela Eiley. There is just one problem for everyone there. She's not done with them. The stage is set for the explosive new Batman line crossover event, Bad Seeds. Yeah, this is the main cover by Jessica Fong. Super dope. I think her covers are so great. I actually just get the normal ones. I'm not too big into the variant ones. This one looks nice. I feel like in the variants they kind of overly sexualize her. This one looks nice though. I think Q Young Eum is the artist for this. I love how she looks. She actually looks super powerful here. So I like that, and I like how the vines are wrapped around her. This one's dope. Very pin up for her. The artist for this is Nubovich. She looks dope. Very classy. I don't like that though. They could have put a little shoe on. And then this one is done by Vincent Carbonilla. And these artists have been doing her variant covers for a while now. And if you guys haven't gotten any DC variant covers, they come in a cool cardstock variant, so they're more durable than the regular covers. But yeah, she looks dope. And then that's the regular one. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one. I mean, I've been buying the title already. I'm gonna get the main cover just because I think it's dope, but this one's really cool as well. And the cool thing about this website is you can see what variant cover is, I guess, the most popular out of the four, based on the polls. So this gets updated as people start pulling it into their list. So if you guys want to get involved, you can come in, make an account, and definitely show what you're getting. I think all the variants are dope actually this time around. I do like this cover though, just because it shows us what's going to happen in the story. Variants tend to be disconnected. We don't typically get to know what's going to happen based on the variants, but yeah, she looks dope. Love Ivy. And excited for this event. I think this is what's needed. I mean, this title has been doing really well already. It's one of the titles that started as a miniseries, and look where we're at right now. We're at issue 47. But it makes me worry because I think with issue 50, we might get the end. Because not everything lasts forever, and I feel like that's what's coming soon, but we'll see. But super excited. And I'm glad that we're highlighting a book that's typically not like a main book, because I think this crossover event is going to bring a lot of readers into this book. So super excited for that. And then we continue with Bad Seeds. It looks like we're going to get a one shot from the not the Marvel, the creative team of Poison Ivy and Batman writer Matt Fraction and G. Willow Wilson. Let me read the solicitation for this. I'm not going to read the solicitation for everything just because I feel like the video is going to be an hour long if I do that. But this says Gotham City's new mayor, Pamela Eiley, deserted by her allies, both political and arcane, is about to make a last-ditch power play that will leave Gotham decimated by daylight. Having already declared war on the Bat family and flooded the streets with his private, paramilitarized police army, Police Commissioner Vandal Savage sees an opportunity to solve two problems at once. Storylines converge in Batman Bad Seeds, a Gotham City event spanning one long, dark night in Gotham that threatens to turn the entire city into a hostile world of prehistoric plant life unlike anything on Earth for millennia, at a time when its greatest heroes are haunted and hiding. As the sun goes down and Gotham loses power, Matt Fraction and G. Willow Wilson, Giuseppe Camuncoli, and Cliff Rathburn deliver an unforgettable opening chapter that shows the only thing scarier than the night just might be the morning sun. Okay, I think that's dope. Cliff Rathburn apparently is the artist for The Walking Dead. Whoa, let me go back. And he's going to be hopping on for art duties here. And it looks like he's going to be sharing it with Giuseppe Camuncoli. If you guys are not familiar with Giuseppe, I believe this is his art style right here. I think he does the main cover. And yeah, this cover looks dope. It looks like they're using the Batsuit as Scarecrow. You see Vandal Savage in the back. You see Pamela Eiley here. Yeah, this looks dope. I'm super excited for this. Obviously, since I'm following the event, I'm going to go ahead and get this. Let's see what variants are here. It looks like we'll get a blank one. We're going to get a foil cover for Dan Mora. And then we're also going to get a glow-in-the-dark variant by Jeffrey Spokes. Let's see. Sorry, let me X out of this. Okay. Yeah, the Dan Mora cover is peak. He never misses. I'm so sorry. He never misses. And I'm the type of person that whenever I see a Dan Mora cover, I just have to get it, regardless what it is. This is dope. I just love the way he draws Batman. He's meant to draw Batman. But the thing is, Jorge Jimenez is such a perfect artist that I cannot think of anyone else drawing Batman at the moment. But when Dan Mora gets his turn to do it, I feel like he'll be a great Batman artist as well. And we've seen him draw Batman already. He did Night Fight in the DCKO event. So I think he'll have a great job whenever he does. But yeah, we see Stephanie Brown here, so she's going to get involved. Batwoman, Damian, and then Nightwing. And you see Batman with these like spores growing out of him, which is cool. This is done by Marcio Takara. He was the artist of Poison Ivy. He's done an issue here and there. He hasn't been as consistent as I would have hoped, but this is dope. And it looks like he's homaging the cover from Jim Lee of Batman. I don't know if you guys have seen it. You guys have definitely seen it. It's the one where he's standing on a gargoyle. So this is cool. And then speaking of the GOAT, Jorge Jimenez's variant, which is dope. Oh, I might have to get both of them, to be honest. They're so cool. I just love the way he draws Batman. And then obviously the regular cover, but it's going to be foilized. And yeah, we go from there. So I'm going to have to get the Dan Mora one for sure. And then the Jorge Jimenez one. And actually, the Jorge Jimenez and the Dan Mora both will have foil. The Jorge Jimenez one is a spot foil, so that means there's going to be some parts of the cover that are foilized. Is that even a word? There's going to be some parts of a cover where it's going to be foil, which I genuinely like better than a straight up foil cover. I think straight up foil covers are a little ugly, no offense. So I'm excited for this spot foil. Okay. Moving on to Absolute Batman. So this is a big issue. It looks like we're gonna get introduced to Absolute Clayface, and it says in a climatic showdown, Batman is forced to battle an unyielding enemy in not just the Robins but in himself. More than one dead character signals a call for help, and a symbol of hopelessness as more friends become enemies. We'll see. So it looks like the Robins are probably going to have a battle with Batman, and that's going to span across more than one issue. It's also kind of hinting that his previous friends are going to turn enemies, and we've been knowing that, right? Because of Two-Face and the Penguin. We'll see if they align with him at the end. My theory is that all his friends are going to become his allies, and that's going to be kind of like his Bat family in the Absolute Universe. So we'll see him work with Penguin, Two-Face, and that's what I'm hoping, right? Because we've seen him already work with Killer Croc, and it looks like Killer Croc is on his side. But I'm hoping that his friends will kind of turn and be supportive as well. So we'll see. I'm excited for this. Obviously, I love this book. This is the only book that I think I get every single variant cover for, just because this is my favorite book at the moment. But this is the regular cover, where we see Clayface, and obviously his design is hidden because he's mimicking Batman. But yeah, Nick Dragata, great job with the art. This is a variant by Jeffrey Spokes. As you can see, it's showcasing his rogue gallery. We see Bane, Mr. Freeze, we see Catwoman, and then we see Poison Ivy and Killer Croc. Super cool. Definitely gonna get this. I don't know who the artist is for this. Let me see. This one's dope, but who is the artist? Oh, Carrie Andrews. Okay, I like this a lot. Carrie Andrews for me could be really hit or miss. I'm not a huge fan of his DNX cover, the one with the faces, but this is dope. This is really dope. And then this is by Juan Ferreira, who's been doing variant covers like this. He started one with Superman, and then the one from Wonder Woman comes out in June, I think, or July. And this is his third one for Batman to complete the Trinity, so I'm gonna get that for sure. And then this one is done by Gabriel Del Auto. It's a it's part of a series of covers that celebrates the 40th anniversary, I think, for The Dark Knight. It tells me right here. Yeah, the 40th anniversary for The Dark Knight Returns, and then the 125 Damien Scott, which I'm not gonna get just because I know it's gonna be a little bit pricey. And yeah, I'm not too big of a fan of it. The proportions are huge, and I know some people love art like this, but yeah, I'm not really sold on this. But everything else I'm getting, and obviously I'm in the minority, right? Because look at the polls. A lot of people are interested on that, but yeah, I'm gonna get all of these. It's so much faster on the iPad, by the way, because you don't have to confirm. And I'm not gonna confirm just for the sake of the video, because it's gonna take a while. Actually, my OCD side. There's this one more, because I'm not gonna get the Dark Knight Returns one, because that's not even Absolute Batman. That's just the regular Batman. So it is what it is. So excited for that, and obviously we know that Scott Snyder and Nick Dragata have been cooking on that series, so for sure I'm gonna get that. Next is Absolute Catwoman issue number 3, written by Che Grayson and art by co-written by Scott Snyder and Che Grayson and art by Bengal. For a second, I thought he was the artist because it's usually writer-artist, but they're co-writing it. And Scott Snyder has said that he's just assisting with plot lines. He's not really like involved with dialogue and stuff. He's just helping her kind of have like a direction for the character, but it's pretty much Che Grayson's baby. And I'm excited for this. I'm actually gonna meet Che Grayson in June. She's doing a signing nearby, and I'm gonna go get Absolute Catwoman #1 signed by her. So excited for that. And it looks like it says Selena Kyle's life is falling apart around her as a member of her old crew, the Calicos, come crashing into her plans. Can the Catwoman open herself up to her old pack, or is she better off alone? We'll see. We'll see who the Calicos are. It looks like it's possibly previous members who she's worked with, and Scott Snyder has said that there's going to be a lot of cool characters introduced in Absolute Catwoman, a lot of people who we've been wanting to see in the Absolute universe. So these two cats could be someone that we know, familiar faces. So here's a cover by Bengal, and I love Bengal's art, but the covers I'm not too really sold on. I've been getting the variants for this for sure. This one's dope. Mahmoud Asrar does the art for this cover, the variant, and he's definitely one of my favorite artists. I always get his variants as well, so I might get this one. This is from Chuma Hill, and she has a very similar art style like this. I think it's called watercolors, and it looks good. It showcases her off without the mask. Love it. And then this one is done by Tirso Khan. And I like how this mirror is kind of shaped like the Batman sign. So this one's dope, and she writes Catwoman. So I actually really like this. It's kind of a battle for me between the Mahmoud Asrar and the. Oh, actually, it's a 125. So the decision is made on my behalf. And if you guys are fans of Kyu Young Yum, which is the artist that does this type of art, it looks like he's going to be doing a variant cover for Catwoman. It's not been revealed yet, but it's going to probably come soon within the next couple of months. And as you can see, he's a huge fan favorite because people are already excited for that. But I'm going to go ahead and get the Mahmoud Asrar one just because I love his art style and I think this is dope. So excited for this. And what I like from League of Comic Geeks as well is that you could see what the community is saying about some of these titles. I'm not going to read any of the comments, but you could see what people are thinking regarding some of these things. So this one is another one to be excited for. This is Absolute Green Arrow #4. We have gotten issue #1 this past week, which I read, and it's incredible. Definitely pick it up if you guys haven't. So this is issue 4 out of 6. We are not informed yet if this has been extended. We are hoping it is. A lot of people have been showing out for this. It's actually gone into second printing. The first issue has. So the demand is there. And if the demand keeps going for issue #2 and 3, we most likely will get this as an ongoing. So if you enjoyed it, definitely show out. If you liked it as well, get a variant cover or something to show your support. And issue #2 matters a lot as well. So definitely go out and get issue #2 because that's the main decider. A lot of the times they know issue #1 is going to sell because like a #1 sells. But issue #2 is a true deciding factor to see if we're going to get something. It says born on a Monday, rises absolute Solomon Grundy. Okay. Dinah's search for Green Arrow Killer has led them both to discover the truth behind the island, a place far more horrifying than either of them could ever dream. But most disturbing of all is who they discover there, as Absolute Green Arrow debuts the first appearance of a new Absolute take on a classic character. So the island is interesting. Like I said, I'm going to give spoilers because, you guys are looking at Solicitations, so obviously spoilers. So the island looks like something similar to the Jeffrey Epstein Island, So this is kind of the DC version of that, and we're going to see what the island is holding. It looks like Solomon Grundy is going to be showing up, and this is probably what he's going to look like. Obviously, it's just a shadow of it, no details here, but I like it. He looks kind of more animal-ish like rather than like a zombie. We'll see. Issue #1 was fun. I like that cover, but let's see some of the variant covers real quick. I don't know how long the video's been. I'm sorry if this is already taking too long, but that's the regular. This is done by Martin Simmons. Cool variant there. This is done by Chris Anka, and I love Chris Anka. I'm definitely leaning to get this one. You can see Dinah here, and Dinah is very like muscled up, which I like. Very different from the characters that we get. And you understand why she's muscled up if you read issue #1. She's like this MMA fighter / bodyguard, retired MMA fighter. Yeah, looks super dope. She kind of reminds me a lot of Rhea Ripley, if you guys know and watch WWE. This is done by Gerald Perel, I believe. Yeah, Gerald Perel. And then the Terso Cons variant is not shown. Or it is shown. Okay, this is a 125 Terso Cons variant. Cool. Yeah, you can see it right here. Yeah, excited for that. I'm gonna get the Chris Anka variant. We are getting the first appearance of Absolute Green Arrow. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just got a message. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get the Chris Anka one. That's just one of my favorite artists, so I typically tend to get the artists that I really like. But the Martin Simmons is the most popular one, and it's cool. It's very like a little bit washed, not washed, but like watercolor-ish. I like how he does his art style. He's done some variants for Absolute Batman before. It's cool, but I like the Chris Anka one. But I'm excited for this for sure. Next is Absolute Superman, issue #22. Superman will stop at nothing to see the universe's most vicious madman brought to justice. But before he can get his hands on Brainiac, Superman will have to go through Metallo, a man with kryptonite in his veins. Get Brainiac begins here, kicking off the march to a game-changing blockbuster issue number 25. Okay, so it looks like a new storyline with Get Brainiac is gonna start. Issue number 25 has been hyped up as well, so we'll see what happens there. The writer is Jason Aaron. The artist is Juan Ferreira. And I'm sorry, I didn't get to say who the artist and writer were for Absolute Green Arrow, but it's Pornsak Piche Shoti. Sorry if I butcher your name. And I'm actually really excited. I didn't mention this, but I'm going to meet Pornsak on Saturday. He's doing a signing nearby, and I'm going to get my copy of Green Arrow signed. So super, super excited there. You'll see my signed copy in my haul, which is why I've been holding up on making my comic book haul video. But yeah, I'm super excited to meet him. And then Rafael Albuquerque's the artist. And, you guys at this point are probably familiar with him. Super dope artist. But switching back to Superman, the writer is Jason Aaron. The artist is Juan Ferreira. So we're getting Juan Ferreira back on art. He's done an issue here and there. He did the story arc with Parasite. So here's the cover by Rafa Sandoval, who's the main artist of this book. Super cool. I actually really like this. This variant is done by Erica Nett, who did an arc on Absolute Batman. I like this as well. This cover is done by Juan Ferreira, and interestingly enough, I can't show it here because I would have to open up another window, but this is actually a homage, a tribute to the first appearance of Metallo. If you guys Google search it and look at the cover, it's similar to it, so I might get this one just because of the homage. I'm a sucker for like tributes and homages, so that's dope. And then this is done by Hepburn. This is Hepburn. Let me see who the artist is. I want to give credit where credit is due. Scott Hepburn. And yeah, super dope. Definitely going to get the homage one for sure. But all of them are really cool. Excited for this. I think this title is so underrated. I'm not going to lie. Besides Absolute Batman, I think this is definitely my second favorite Absolute title. Green Arrow will have to come in third, and then Wonder Woman, and then probably The Flash. And I know that sounds disrespectful to The Flash, but it's still a really good book. It's just the Absolute books have been peak, so nothing is bad at the moment for sure. And I'll be honest with you if it was bad. But yeah, excited for this. Next is Absolute Batwoman issue number 23. Back from the underworld, Diana returns to Area 41 with more than justice on her mind. What she finds is not what she expected, but neither is life in Gateway, as the new threat is rising. Unfortunately, Diana recognizes this particular threat. Sorry, guys. The gods themselves have come to Gateway City. Sorry if I'm reading like a crazy maniac. You guys know I definitely struggled in popcorn reading for sure. But I think it's just like I don't have my glasses on, so I'm trying to struggle to read this. But yeah, it looks like someone's coming, a new threat to Gateway City. Just based on the cover, that looks like Ares, but I could be wrong. Yeah, super excited for this. She looks dope with this battle armor that she has on. Oof, she's so cool. I'm so sorry, y'all. She's so cool. Definitely one of my favorite characters. This is the variant by Yasmin Putri. I love her variants, and the funny thing is, this has been previously advertised because I remember ordering this, and then they canceled my order because they said that it got resolicited, so it looks like they pushed it to this issue. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna get that cover. Even though Hayden Sherman's cover, the main one, is like incredible, I just love this. I love having covers that are like very artsy, and Yasmin Patry can never disappoint. We're also gonna get covers by Terry Dotson and Steve Scrooge, but they have not been revealed, so be on the lookout for those. But have you guys enjoyed this run? And let me know what your favorite Absolute title is down below, because I know everyone has different thoughts. It always interchanges between Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. But now that Green Arrow's in the picture, are some of y'all enjoying that? And definitely don't forget Absolute Green Lantern as well. It's not solicited anymore because it ended, but people love that book. Next is Absolute Flash, and I'm going to try my best to read it, so please give me some grace. Central City is thrown into chaos as DEO agent Hunter Solomon comes to town. Can Wally protect his new home and friends, or will the young hero finally be captured? The writer is Jeff Lemire. The art is done by Nick Robles. We haven't seen Nick Robles in a while. We have had a story arc featuring Haining recently. So Nick Robles is coming back. The cover is dope. This is Nick Robles' art. And then you can see him get beat up. So we'll see who's doing the punches. So maybe a new character. We'll see. Actually, it tells you. I'm so dumb. Agent Hunter Solomon. So we'll see how he looks like. We might have been introduced to him in the past. Not sure, but it looks like he'll be running into Wally again. And then this variant is done by Ejicure. Sorry if I'm butchering his name. And then this one is done by Carmine Di Giadomenico. And I love this one. Carmine just has such a great way of drawing movement. Like the lines, everything about it is so incredible. They're the artist on Deathstroke, the Terminator, and they've been doing such a great job there. So I gotta give Carmine their flowers. There we go. I'm definitely gonna get that one. But yeah, this has been fun. I think the previous story arc was definitely a huge step up from the first 12 issues. It's definitely a slow burn, but it is very distinct from the other titles as well. So excited for this one, and I've been enjoying that one. Oh, and I feel bad because I haven't been mentioning Absolute Green Lantern, but this title has also been really good. I will say though, I know I mentioned Flash as being my least favorite. I think this might be my least favorite. Right now is getting into like the space mythology and stuff like that, and that's kind of taking me out because I'm not huge into space unless they really dumb it down for me. I know that's gonna sound so stupid, but unless they really dumb it down for me, then I'm fine. But there's just so much that's been happening, and it's kind of pushing me away. I like the humanity of this book. I like when we explore Jo and what she's doing and how she feels, but when we get into space and the mythology of like the rings and all of that, it kind of takes me out. But I'm still excited to read this. So the solicitation reads: Sinestro might have overwhelmed Jo Mullein and Tomare. Can the two anomalies overcome his brutal onslaught, or will they be lost to Oa and become one with Mu? So we'll see what that's going. So we'll see what's going to happen. We'll see right here Jo. Sinestro's in the back. Not sure what's happening with his face. I don't even know what's happening with Jo as well. It looks like there's a golden armor surrounding her, which should be interesting. This is written by Al Ewing, and then artist is Sid Koshin. Sid has done some issues here and there, but I really do miss Jano Lindsay. There's such a great artist for this book specifically, and when we get filler art, it just doesn't hit the same as Janoy's. But let's see the variant covers. It looks like we just have one. The other one is TBD. And this one is done by Andrew Robinson. Yeah, Andrew Robinson. Ooh, we're gonna get a Tula Lote cover. She's dope. I might get the Tula Lote one because I know how her art style is gonna look like. She's recently done an issue of or the variant for Absolute Green Arrow, and she's always great. She draws females so elegantly, and I think that's what I love about her art. So I'm definitely gonna get that one. I don't even need to see it. I just know it's gonna be good. Okay, so Scott Snyder has mentioned that there's going to be some one shots throughout the year focusing on some characters. This one actually focuses on that shot, and they call it Next Level One Shot. I'm not going to read the solicitations just because the video is going to be long. I just wanted to do it for the absolute books. But it looks like it's going to focus on him. He's the deadliest assassin. He's going to uncover a conspiracy that will change everything. The writer for this is going to be Gary Duggan. And then the artist is going to be Fernando Blanco. I love Fernando's art. I've seen it before. He used to do Detective Comics back in the day, and I think he's done some art recently. I'm not sure for what book, but yeah, his art style is pretty cool. It is very reminiscent of, I'm trying to think of who, Alvaro Martinez, I think. They have very similar art styles. A little bit like Daniel Sampere as well, who's the artist of Wonder Woman. But yeah, excited for this. It's focusing on a character we don't typically get much on. During the Suicide Squad, there was a lot of focus on that shot. I feel like once the Suicide Squad and that side of the DC universe ended, like the cinematic universe, we kind of stopped focusing on that shot. So I'm glad we're getting back into him. So yeah, should be cool. This cover's dope. Mark Spears. Carmine Di Giadomenico. Definitely gonna get this one, I think. And then this one is the Next Level variant by Jorge Corona. He's been doing that for all the all-in books. And then once again, a Mark Spears. It might be a foil. And then this is probably the 125. Who does that one? Mario Focio. Yeah, Mario Fox Focio. And that one's 125. Yeah, the Mark Spears is a foil one. I think I'm gonna get the regular cover for this. I like the regular cover. I like how all on the sniper scopes are on him, like the red sights. It's gonna be dope. And then the Mark Spears one is dope, but clearly the fan favorite one is this Jorge Corona one that you see. Yeah, excited for this one. I think it's gonna be fun. We'll see where this leads, and I'm glad we're getting a focus on a character that doesn't really get much storylines. So yeah, excited for that. This one is interesting. I've seen the cover for this while I was scrolling on Twitter. So it's Lobo #6. The writer is Scotty Young. The artist Jorge Corona is taking a break. Maybe he's drawing the future issues. But the filler artist is going to be Riley Rosmo. So you guys, if you guys don't know who he is, I'll show you his variant in a little bit. But his art style is so dope. So I'm excited for this. And this one says 4 out of 5 dentists agree that the tooth fairy is real, and they're freaking out to make your teeth chatter right out of your head. Good thing Lobo's teeth always grow back because he's been hired to murk the mystical master of molars, and the pay's good enough to make a main man want to get the fluoride treatment. If you're familiar with Lobo's previous contracts and specials, you know you can't miss this one. Okay, so it looks like he's gonna fight the Tooth Fairy, and it looks like the Tooth Fairy is not who we think he is, or who they are. Not sure if it's male or female, but we'll see. And the main cover shows the Tooth Fairy here, but we really can't see their character design, and we see Lobo without teeth. So I think it's gonna be a fun story. Love the main cover. This is by David Nakayama, so if you're a fan of David Nakayama's art, super cool cover here. This one is done by Subic. Cool cover as well. It looks like he's looking at himself in the mirror. And then this is Riley Rosmo, and this is the art style you can expect inside the book. So yeah, super excited for that, and I'm gonna get the main cover just because I think the main cover is hilarious. Okay, next is Barbara Gordon Breakout. It says Barbara entered Supermax alone with no one by her side. So who is this mysterious ally that's coming to her defense, and what is their connection to her family? And even with someone watching her back, will she be able to protect the killer's next target? Find out as Mariko Tamaki and Amankai Nawel Pants DC Next Level Smash Hit continues. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a miniseries. I hope not. But when it has like a subtitle like Breakout, you can only do so many issues, right? So we'll see. I mean, this is just the beginning, so I'm excited. And Mariko Tamaki, I have faith in her. She's a great writer, and I actually really enjoyed Amankai's art. This is the main cover by Carl Kerschel, and this is the ally that they're hinting at in the Solicitations. This variant is done by Dustin Nguyen. I love this bat suit on her Batgirl suit. So I like that. And then this is by Dave Johnson. It's super cool. You see the arrows leading her and her allies there. And don't know who the artist is for this one. Is this David Mack? No, Gerald Perel. It looks like Mark Spears would also have a variant for this, and then Klaus Janson as well. I'm gonna get the Dustin Nguyen one just because I like that he's included her in her Batgirl suit. So we'll get that, and I'm excited for this. As you can see, at this point I'm picking up everything, which is kind of rare, but DC's been showing us hit after hit, and they're kind of the main publisher right now. So far I haven't seen a title that I'm not reading, but we're definitely going to come down to that as we scroll down. Next is Batwoman issue #6. It says, broken by Alice's death, Kate Kane was left in pieces. How did the fall that claimed her sister's life lead to a rebirth in Petalon, and what does it mean for her future? Witness the truth of what happened that night in Gotham as Batwoman's DC Next Level journey continues in a special issue drawn by guest artist Jeff Spokes. Okay, that brought me in. This has been one of the books where I've been like, ugh, and I think the main reason for that is because I don't know the first story arc that Greg Rucka did for Batwoman. It looks like he's continuing his previous run on this book. So I actually got the, what do they call it? The compact edition of Batwoman that he's written. So I'm going to get caught up on that, and I feel like that will get me in shape to read the next issue. But yeah, this DC Next Level hasn't been my favorite, but we'll see if Greg Rucka is able to turn it around because I know he's a very talented writer. And maybe once I get the context behind some of the issues, I'll be able to really enjoy this. Regardless, I haven't been able to really get into Danny's art like that. I know she's very stylistic, and I love that it's different. But I'm glad we're getting Jeffrey Spokes because he's really, really good. He did like a 2 issue stint on Wonder Woman recently. If you guys haven't read it, and we'll see his art style in one of the variants I'll show you. So this is the main cover by Danny. She is typically the interior artist in this book. Whoa, okay, this is a cool cover. By Stefan Sejic. It looks like that's Kate's sister. Cool cover. I don't know how he does it, but he makes them look so realistic. And then this is the cover by Jeff Spokes. Super dope. This is what we're gonna expect, so let's get excited. And then this is by Jorge Fornes, which I love. I love how Jorge Fornes, whenever he does a cover, it's very stylized, and I like how he plays with colors and the textures and everything. It looks like the texture of her hair is the city, which I like. And it's a very close-up shot of her. And then this is the 40th anniversary Batman vs Superman one. Is this Carrie Andrews? It's not Carrie Andrews. Let me see. Oh, it looks like it's Walt Simonson. But yeah, I'm gonna get the Jeffrey Spokes one. I like that he's doing interior art, so to celebrate that, we'll get his variant. Okay. Next is the Deadman issue number 3. That solicitation is long, so I'm not gonna read it because I know I'm gonna butcher it. But the writer for this is W. Maxwell Prince. The artist is done, or the art is done by Martin Morazzo. This is the creative team that brought you guys Ice Cream Man on Image. We haven't seen Ice Cream Man in quite a while. I think there was an issue last month, and it's kind of been in a break. But it looks like they've been working in this book together, which I don't blame them. I think this was a passion project of theirs, if I'm not mistaken. But you can see Martin Morazzo's art here in the main cover. This looks interesting. We'll see what this book is about. There's such like creators that are very out there. So I'm excited because this is a character that I think they can have a lot of fun with. So we'll see. So the way that Martin Morazzo draws that man looks really cool as well. So excited for that. And then this variant is done by Ekman. I'm going to butcher his name. Alex Ekman Lawn. Okay, actually didn't butcher his name. And I like it. It looks like they cut a piece of his head out and you could see the inside of it, and it looks like someone's in there. So super cool. This is done by Christian Ward, and we can see that man just phasing through the crowd. And then this one is done by Tyler Boss. So I'm gonna get the regular cover for this just because I like the style of it. Okay, next is the Fury of Firestorm issue number 5. Firehawk and Martin Stein arrive in Pittsburgh with a plan to save Ronnie from the Firestorm Matrix. But is Ronnie too far gone inside his own mind to truly be saved? We'll see. So Martin Stein is showing up again. It looks like we're going to try to save Ronnie from the Firestorm Matrix. Should be exciting. This has been one of my favorite books from DC All In. Jeff Lemire has been firing on all cylinders, no pun intended. Rafael de la Torre, though, has been, to me, the most impressive thing about this book. His art style is incredible. The way that he can shift from like an old style type of art to the new one, the paneling, everything about it is great. The coloring on this book is super dope as well. You can see it here, how he can like change. This is modernized, and this is kind of like mimicking the golden age of comics. So super cool cover here. This variant is done by, I don't know, is this Jeff Lemire? It might be a Jeff Lemire variant. No, Dennis Cohen. We're also going to get Brad Walker, and then Toru Terada does the third one. Let's see. This is Toru Terada's one, which is cool. It's kind of hard to look at him because there's a lot going on in the cover, but I like it. It's cool. I like the movement of it, but I do love the main cover, so I'm going to get the main cover for this. Excited for this, and good news on this, it's actually gone up. It was supposed to be a 6-issue miniseries, but now it's actually been extended to 9. So keep on buying it, keep on showing it love. We might get an ongoing if we keep on supporting it. So definitely go out and get it. If you haven't gotten issue 1 and 2, they're out now. We continue with DCLM books. It looks like it's Satana next. And this solicitation reads: Satana Satara arrives in the hidden city of the Homomaji, the place of her mother's birth and death. Following up in a string of mysterious visions and omens, she's met with a people divined, raging chaos, and unresolved anxieties, all on the verge of erupting. And what an eruption it will be. It looks like Jamal Campbell is going to be the writer and artist, so he continues pulling on double duties, which I'm not complaining about. His art style is incredible. And this is his art style. We got a variant. Who is this? I think it's David Talaski. So we see her as the Prime Magus. I think it's what it's called. And she looks dope. I love this design that they gave her. A Bruno Redondo cover, and this one's funny because she's pulling herself out, and it's kind of a never ending. As you can see here, she's pulling herself out of the magician's hat. And then this one, I know a lot of people are showing it love. It's done by Nimit Malavia. And yeah, it's definitely a nice cover. And then the Jamal Campbell one. Yeah, so there's no 125s. All of them are open order. It looks like a lot of people have the Bruno Redondo one, and I'm actually a huge fan of it too. So I'm gonna get that one. But the David Talaski one is my favorite as well. Looks super dope here. I would have gone this if Bruno Redondo didn't do a variant cover, but yeah, super excited. This has been a good series as well. Granted, we only had one issue, but issue number 2 should be out next week, I think. So excited for this. Next is Deathstroke the Terminator, issue number 6. It says Ravager's life hangs in the balance as Deathstroke fights for his future against Deathstroke? Question mark. Will this mystery doppelganger succeed in taking literally everything from him? Can the city caught in the crosshairs survive 2 Deathstrokes, or will it be the end of everything? A lot of people were kind of shaken by this last sentence. Like, will it be the end of everything? It's kind of hinting at like the end of a series, so people are a little scared. We'll see. A lot of miniseries end at issue number 6, so I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm a little scared as well because I've been enjoying it. And Tony Fleeks is the writer with artist Carmine Di Giadomenico. And if you're not familiar with Carmine's art, just look at this beauty. It looks like this is the doppelganger Deathstroke. So who is this person under the mask? And it looks like Ravager, his daughter's been hurt. So like, what happened to her? A lot of questions. We'll see what happens, but super cool cover here. This one's done by Dan Panosian. I like this. It's like him, and then his reflection is Deathstroke. Super cool. This one's done by DK Rowan, I think is his name. And it looks dope. I like how he draws it. It looks kind of like sketched, right? Like with coloring pencils and everything. I like this a lot. And then this one is done by I think it's Chris Deanda, Carlos Deanda. I think I'm gonna get the main cover for this, but I really do love this Dyke Royan one. DK Royan. I think you say DK Royan, but we'll see. Getting this one. Okay. I've seen this cover floating around the internet, and I'm actually super curious of what's happening. But I'm gonna read this for you guys, and y'all let me know what you think. This is for Batman issue number 12. It says 6 of the world's deadliest killers have descended on Gotham City at once, but who hired them, and who's the target? Surely it can't be the Batman. As the Cape Crusader races to uncover who set this deadly plan in motion, the late Alfred Pennyworth provides a gift from beyond the grave with the arrival of a brilliant new ally to the Bat family at a time when it needs one the most. I'm excited. So this might be a new character. A lot of people have been kind of speculating on who she is. I think she might be Alfred's niece, because it looks like it's going to be kind of like a new butler, but she might be trained in combat. We'll see, but this is hinting at her being a butler. I like this main cover because it looks like it's Alfred putting her in like a like serving her, right? Like he's serving her, and she looks dope. I like her design. Here she's kind of playing more the Alfred role. Dustin Nguyen variant. This one is done by Jorge Molina, who's been doing a lot of the variants for the Batman. And this one says Beware the Bat. Just a cool cover. And then another. That's pretty much it. And then we're missing one from Brian Suk, and then the foil variant, and then the David Aja 1 to 25. I'm gonna get the main cover for this one. I really like how he's holding the plate, and it's her. The writer for this is Matt Fraction. The artist is Jorge Jimenez. So Jorge Jimenez is back, and look at this. People are already saying, "Oh, Alfred Sneeze, Daphne Pennyworth." So if that's her, I'm excited. It says what? If it's really her, there will be a lot of what? A lot of fans who won't accept anyone if it's not Alfred. I don't know. Yes, I miss Alfred. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's been such a long time since we've seen him. It's been literally years since Tom King's run. But I also think that we've been okay without him, and introducing a character that like might have been kind of like a niche, very underrated, kind of like, what do they call it? One of those characters that are a little bit hidden, I think is better. I hope she's not a new character. I really do hope she's Daphne Pennyworth, just because we're bringing someone that's been created in the past. And obviously, I think it's better than creating someone new that's similar to that character. So we'll see. Um, yeah, I wouldn't feel disrespected if it's Alfred's niece, because it is what it is. That's like a family member. And I know Julia, his daughter, she's a little estranged from Batman right now because she's upset that, Alfred died. So I think Daphne coming will be better, but we'll see. I'm glad that we are including Alfred in the storyline, though, without really including him. So that's cool, the way that he's playing something in spirit. So we'll see. Excited for this. Next is the Detective Comics issue 1112. Um, what is this? So it looks like it says the sinister secret of the Reynoso family have been revealed, and with the revelations come closure for a tragedy that befell Batman, Black Canary, and Green Arrow long ago. Now, with the shadowy secret exposed, it's up to our dynamic trio to save young Arabella from a decades-old conspiracy. Fight concludes in this can't-miss issue by the superstar team of Tom Taylor and Mikhail Janin. We don't get the main cover for this. We actually just get one cover, and this is the variant by Andy Kubert, sorry. And it looks like it's just the 40th anniversary variant, so nothing that actually shows what's the main issue. But that story arc with Black Canary and Green Arrow that we've had for like one or two issues now, it looks like that's concluding. Yeah, I've been excited. I've been enjoying this. Love Mikhail Janin's art. I think Tom Taylor has been doing a good job here as well, so I'm definitely gonna get this. Next is Nightwing. This is Nightwing number 141, by the way. It says the deadline has arrived. The curious citizens of Bloodhaven gather to see whether their hero will surrender to the authorities for the deadly crash that took 9 lives. Nightwing doesn't know what he's going to do either, but one thing is certain: things can't go on like this. So if you haven't read Nightwing, in the first issue of this most recent story arc, he was in this car accident where he was driving, and this ghost lady or this witch, whatever it is, she ended up causing him to get on a car accident that he woke up to, and 9 people died. So he feels responsible for it, and it looks like he might be turning himself in. So cool cover here. This is written by Dan Waters with artist Dennis Cohen, and then the cover artist is Jorge Fornes, who does this cool cover. And then the variant, this one is done by Martin Simmons or Tim Bradstreet. We get another Bat Family variant from Dustin Nguyen, which looks dope because, it's like a shadow drawn over the city. And then, this one's cool. It's the Dark Knight Returns variant from Dan Mora. We see it's her name. Oh, I forgot what her name is. It's Kelly, right? Something Kelly. I forgot her name, but I know it's something Kelly. But she looks dope. And then obviously Dan Mora's Batman. I might have to get this. It looks nice. I know I haven't gotten any of these variants yet, but the main cover is cool too because it looks like Nightwing might be turning himself in, or not even turning himself in. It looks like he just got caught and people are, or like the police are taking him in. Um, I'm gonna get the Dan Mora variant because usually, or not usually, like 100% of the time, these variants have the actual cover underneath it. So I will get both of them in a way just by purchasing this one. Okay, next is Catwoman issue number 90. Wow, she is really on a roll because not a lot of books have reached number 90. at least in the modern day. But it says Selena Kyle has made enemies in her life, but none who hate her with quite the same vitriol as Black Mask and Katrina Belove. With the stage set for an unforgettable night of torture and violence aimed at Selena and those close to her, there is one question left to ask. When the curtains go up on the grand finale, who will live and who will die? One thing's for certain, not everyone is making it out alive. Ooh, so it's kind of teasing a death, maybe from either Catwoman, one of her allies, maybe Black Mask, maybe Katarina Belove. The writer is Torin Grombeck, and the artist is David Gianfelice. The cover artist is Sebastian Fiamura. The covers have always been nice. This is no exception. It looks like Black Mask is fighting Catwoman. This is the variant that we typically get from Frank Cho. He's been doing variants for a while now in this title. This variant is interesting. Who drew this? Ji Hyung Lee drew that one. I think it's interesting. I'm sorry, I'm not a huge fan, to be honest. I don't like the way that the I don't know, the string around her is on her suit. It's interesting. I don't know. I don't like how her suit looks like either. It's very like vinyl-y. This is done by Chloe Brailsford. And then this is the Dark Knight Returns variant by Joelle Jones. I'm going to get the regular cover for this, and we can move on. Actually, I will say this about this title. Right now, I'm in the fence if I'm going to continue reading it. There's some issues that are good. There's some issues where I'm like, oh, it could be better. This story arc is interesting, but I don't know. I need something else from this title soon. And I don't like that we don't have a standard artist. I think David Gianfelice has done some of the previous issues, but not necessarily my favorite type of art. So we'll see. This one I'm in the fence about. Depends on the next couple of 2 issues on where we're at. But as of now, I'm going to say ordering it. Harley Quinn. Okay, I don't even want to read this, but it says Solicitation Harley here. You ain't going to believe this. The shadowy secret leader of the Harley Quinn Revenge Squad was none other than what's it called? Retracted? You can't see it. Retracted. That's right. Can you believe it? Retracted. Not in my wildest dreams would I ever imagine that Retracted would be behind it. Why, it's enough to make me say, and then she says a bunch of randomness. I have nothing to say regarding this title, to be honest. Nothing nice to say, at least. The David Nakayama covers are dope. And no, I will say this. I think the variants for these books have been really, really nice. I've actually picked up a couple of issues just based on the covers alone. This one's dope because we see her as like a therapist. And then the Terry Dodson one, it's okay. This is the Derek Chu one, which looks dope. We see Ivy in the back and then Batman. And it looks like they're skateboarding for some reason. What is going on in this title? And then this is the Dark Knight Returns one, I'm guessing. Yeah. Yeah, this is one of the first ones, believe it or not, that I'm going to be skipping. I'm not going to get this. It's just not my type of book. Wait a minute. Daniel Warren Johnson, you see what I tell you? Randomly, we get the greatest artist to do the covers on this book. And I don't know why. They definitely know that it's going to sell because of the art, but yeah, Daniel Warren Johnson's cover. Oh, I'm so tempted because I love him as an artist, but I'm going to have to skip because the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Let me tell you that. This title is like literally one of the books, and no offense to Elliot Kalan and Carlos Olivares. I actually do like Carlos's art a lot, but the writing on it is just not for me. That's all I'll say. It's definitely not for me. And look at the comment here. It says so many people are going to be buying this for the Daniel Warren Johnson cover and not touch the insides at all. Why is that so true, and why I might be doing that, they definitely kind of exposed me there because I definitely might be doing that. For now, I'm not going to pick it up, but maybe if I see this cover in the comic book store, I might pick it up and not touch the insides of it as well. So yeah, you see, people are hip, people know. Next is Bad Girl issue number 22. Cassandra Cain has solved the murder, uncovering the killer's identity in the process. The only problem is that she's now trapped within a prison in her own mind. To stop the next murder, Bad Girl must escape the labyrinth of her memories and survive one final confrontation with the past that made her. And when the true meaning of Forget-Me-Not is finally revealed, it might be the one thing Cassandra was never meant to remember. I'm glad we're fully moving on from the ninja stuff. It looks like this is gonna deal more with like her past and stuff, which in a way is kind of linked to the ninja stuff, but we'll see. The writer is Tate Bromble, the artist is Steven Segovia, and the cover artist is David Talaski. This is David's cover, and David Talaski has been on fire on the covers for this title. Not sure if you guys have seen it. And then this is by Q Young Yeom. Q Young Yeom. I know I'm butchering his name, but he's the artist that did the variant for Poison Ivy, which I showed earlier. This cover is actually nice. I don't mind it at all. I like how there's a bunch of like ghosts, I'm guessing, or it looks like there's some type of version of Batgirl of like Cassandra. But yeah, the David Talaski cover goes hard. So I'm gonna get this. And this is another one of those titles where I'm on the fence about. If I'm not enjoying this next story arc, it's one I'm gonna drop for sure as well. Next is Wonder Woman issue number 36. The tale of Diana's origin continues as she enters the contest, where only one Amazon emerges victorious and is granted passage to the man's world as Wonder Woman. The fate of Themyscira hangs in the balance as the princess finds herself at a crossroads, much like her own daughter, as she prepares to take down the matriarch once and for all. So this is a 2-issue story arc that Stephanie Williams is writing. I believe after this issue, we're going to get the conclusion to Tom King's... I don't know if it's going to be the conclusion to his run or if it's going to be the conclusion to his story arc, but it's ramping up, right? We're finally going to get Wonder Woman to fight the matriarch. But Stephanie Williams, she's good. I like the filler stories that she comes in and out with. And filler, I mean, in no disrespect, because she literally comes in and she does like... maybe I shouldn't say filler. I guess the guest story arcs that she does, because Tom King and Daniel Sampere need some time to finish the like the main story, so we see her here and there, and I've enjoyed her issues. So excited for this. This is the main cover by Jeffrey Spokes, the David Nakayama variant. Who does this one? Carlos Pagaluyan, and then Eiko does this one, which I like. It's nice, but I think I might have to get the Jeffrey Spokes one. It's speaking to me, so I'm gonna get that one. Next is Supergirl issue number 16. It says the Kryptonite kingdom of El Caldero has been taken over by General Zod. Supergirl gathers her own superforce to infiltrate the kingdom. Superboy Prime, Connor Kent, Tomorrow Man, Lois Lane, Steel, Lana Lang, Natasha Irons, Princess Shark, and more Supergirl's wild cast. But before they can remove Zod from power, he unleashes a dangerous new force. What is the K-Zone? So interesting that El Caldero is being brought up again. El Caldero is this town that's fueled by kryptonite. After the first issue of Superman Unlimited, where this planet full of kryptonite came from the sky, the citizens of El Caldero have basically taken that kryptonite in and fueled their city and made it grow. So it looks like now General Zod has taken over that city, and obviously that poses a threat to all the super family people because, kryptonite is their weakness. So we'll see. This story arc is actually going to be spanning across all titles, so I'm going to have to get this book. And interestingly enough, I would have thought maybe Action Comics or maybe Superman Unlimited would have kickstarted this story arc, but it looks like it's going to be Supergirl. So we'll see. If you guys haven't known, I'm actually not picking up this title, but I will have to pick it up for this story arc. I do not like this regular cover though. It's connecting covers done by Gillian March, and I'm not that much of a huge fan of connecting covers. So I'm gonna skip this one. This one's done by Nuba Bitch, not a huge fan. Stephanie Hans, and then Mark Spears. I'm gonna get the Stephanie Hans one. I just think it's the nicest one out of all of them. And people clearly love the Mark Spears one though. And then the story arc continues. I'm not going to read them. I think I've gone like a while already with this video, so I'm not going to read the next ones. But the next part is in Action Comics 1001. It looks like the writer is Mark Waid. The artist is Osvaldo Pestana Montpellier. And I did not say the creative team for Supergirl, but the writer is going to remain Sophie Campbell, and the artist is going to be done by Joe Quinones. Yeah, going back to Action Comics, this is the main cover. It's a continuation by Gillian March. We see General Zod here. We see Superboy Prime. This cover is done by Ariel Olivetti. We see, it looks like an older version of Superman and then Superboy. And then once again, same thing here, Superboy with Superman, and then General Zod. Let me actually read the solicitations because now I'm not thinking it's Superman. I think it's the younger version of Superman holding the older version. So let's see. It says Superman returned last month. Superman returned in last month's landmark 1100 issue. Now the Man of Steel crashes into the present day and finds himself thrown into the war with Zod. With a few stowaways along the ride, including young Clark Kent. There we go. The Battle of Zod's Kryptonite Kingdom has already begun. Is Superman's return too late? So it looks like it's young Clark Kent. Yeah, that's interesting. I really thought that maybe we were just seeing glimpses of Clark Kent and we were just not going to bring him into the present, but it looks like they're going to do that. That variant is done by Mike Choi. I'm gonna get the Ariel Olivetti one. I think this is speaking to me. I like it more. It's in a way it's kind of deep because it's like the younger version looking at the older version die. Hopefully not, but I like that one. Okay. And the story continues in Superman Unlimited, issue number 16. Zod reveals the secret of his Kryptonite kingdom. His powers are back. His empire grows, but it's not enough. He demands more. No matter the cost, Tomorrow Man, Steel, Natasha, Irons, and Lana Lang work together to develop a cure for the Kryptonite infection that spreads across the world. So this tells us more about what's happening. It looks like there's going to be a kryptonite infection. And if you guys don't know who Tomorrow Man is, this is the new mantle that John has taken over. So instead of being called Superboy, he's being called the Tomorrow Man. And it looks like it's going to continue, which is interesting. I do like this suit on him. I'm not going to lie. The only thing I don't like is the fact that his face is hidden. With Superman, we've never seen that before. Like Supergirl shows her face, Superboy always has shown his face, but it's different. I mean, I like it. It's not ugly, but interesting that he's showing this here. But in the Teen Titans book or the Titans book, he is donning his older costume. So I wonder what's that about. But yeah, that's the Gillian March cover. The Supergirl variant, and you can see the Tomorrow Man here. This is done by Aiko. I actually like this cover a lot. Superboy Prime, is that Superboy Prime? But this one's done by Mark Spears. This one's cool too. And then the Torrin Clark one, where we see everyone: Supergirl, Superboy Prime, Superboy, and then the Tomorrow Man. So I'm gonna get that one, the Torrin Clark one. Torrin Clark has actually quickly become one of my favorite cover artists, so this is a not like miss for me. Like I can't skip this one. Okay, so this might be the end for this story arc, but it says this is for Superman 41. An epic battle of power and revenge across the Kryptonite Kingdom, an eye for an eye, but Superboy Prime joins the fight, hoping to show the returning Superman how much he's changed, with a shock ending that will change the Kingdom of Zod and the DC Universe forever. Oof, I do not like the sound of that. And we see like Superman maybe dying. I'm a little scared, I'm not gonna lie. But we'll see what's happening. That's the Gillian March cover. And then Christian Ward. This one's dope. The Mike Spears. And then this one is done by, is it Mike Choi? Yeah. And then Vincenzo Riccardi does the last one. This one's interesting. There's a lot going on in this as well. I might have to get the regular cover for this, and that's gonna bother me because it's connecting to everything else. And maybe me struggling to see what I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna get the Christian Ward one. Yeah. We'll see. I like this main cover, but the fact that I'm not going to get any of the connecting ones is going to be a little off. So might as well just get that Christian Ward one. And then the writer for this is Joshua Williamson, and artist is Eddie Barrows. I didn't say who the artist and writer were for the Superman Unlimited one, but it's going to be Dan Slott and Rachel Stott as the artist. Rachel Stott has done a lot of work for Marvel in the past. She's cool. And then Eddie Barrows, he's done the filler storylines for Superman. He's been kind of a rotating artist with Dan Mora. So interesting. We're having him back. I would have thought maybe Dan Mora would have drawn this issue, but he needs a break. He's been doing a lot. Next is Justice League Unlimited issue number 22. When the reborn Arc dictator Despero seizes control of the Powers planet, the Justice League is outnumbered, outmatched, and outgunned by a barrage of brutal battle. But its troubles are somehow just beginning as a new moon rises over the new galactic hot plate. Meanwhile, the fissures created by the amnesty program finally erupt into chaos on the Watchtower. So it looks like that amnesty program with the superheroes and the supervillains is not working. Something's gonna happen, and the artist for this one is actually Dan Mora. So Dan Mora is gonna be doing this book, the art for this book, and the writer is Mark Waid. And Dan Mora is actually doing the cover as well, which showcases the members of the Justice League Unlimited here. Then we get a variant by Bruno Redondo, Detective Chimp, cool. Batman and Superman are showcased in this variant by Gerald Perel. Kieran as Darbo does this variant which shows Power Girl being pierced by, I think this is like a version of Brainiac. And then Nathan Zerdy does this variant for Star Sapphire. Yeah, I'm gonna get the regular cover for this. I do like the Detective Chimp one, but this one's gonna be cool. And yeah, I'm excited. We'll see. It says I'm seeing a lot of people saying that Dan Moore is only this series from now on. Oh, so people are saying that this is gonna be the only book that Dan Mora does. So maybe he's not gonna be doing Superman anymore. What does that mean for Superman? Is he going to be replaced by someone else? We'll see. But that's interesting. Next is Green Lantern issue number 38. Diners, drive-ins, and death. Fast food is a big business in Los Angeles, but there's more than in the fryers than beef tallow. A rivalry is about to shift a cold-cut war into a hot one, and Kyle Rayner is on the front line. Meanwhile, Hal Jordan's mysterious quest has the Guardians of the Universe desperate to stop him. What are they hiding? Sermonic was returning as the artist. Okay, that might make me pick this up. The writer is Jeremy Adams, and honestly, last issue was fun. I like that Kyle Rayner is having fun with this book, and it doesn't feel like something serious. And that's what I was fearing. I thought it was going to be something goofy of a book, but I've enjoyed it. And it looks like we're going to get into more shenanigans in this book, which is going to be fun. I like this cover. It's done by Eddie Barrows. And then we get a variant by, I do not know the artist names. It says Mark Aspinall, and then this one by Jessica Luna. I'm gonna get the regular cover for this. I think the other ones are too pin-up-y. Okay, Green Lantern Corps. The Corps against the Manhunters. Death arrived in the form of a friend. The Manhunters, the ancient android virus built to exterminate all emotional beings and reborn in the body of android Green Lantern Aya, reach Oa. The Lantern Corps, sworn to harness emotion to protect sentient life, have had little time to prepare. I completely butchered this. I'm so sorry. I need to put my glasses on and reread this. But it looks like the Manhunters are coming. They had infiltrated this android, who her name was Aya, and it looks like they're going to cause problems to the Green Lantern Corps. The writer for this is Morgan Hampton. The artist is Juan Jose Rip. The cover artist is Fernando Pasarin. This is his cover. It hasn't been colored yet. This is the variant by Jorge Fornes. I have not been reading this book. I don't think I'm going to read it as well. It just hasn't been for me. I gave it a shot. It just wasn't a title for me. So I'm going to skip that one. Next is The Flash, issue number 36. Wally's saving both Central and Keystone cities from everything bad, and he's ready to scale up. So now he's running to Metropolis, where he engages in a series of shenanigans and adventures as Wally shows what he can do. Yes, this special issue of Flash features Superman villains going up against the fastest man alive, and maybe even Battlemech or two. Do all of them get punched really fast? Some of them absolutely, but surely things can't keep going perfectly forever, can they? Probably they can. Let's read this book together to find out. Writer is Ryan North. Artist is Gavin Godry, who's been doing such a great job on this book. This cover is really cool. You can see that Flash is tired of dealing with the Metropolis villains. This cover is done by Castellini. I think it's the same one that's, Claudio Castellini, and then Juni Va is doing the other variant. These variants are interesting. They have these like flashbacks, which I'm not a huge fan of. I'm gonna get the main cover, But yeah, this book has been good. I've been enjoying it. The art is great. Ryan North actually fits like a glove as the writer here. He definitely has a lot of love for Wally, and you can see it. So excited for that. Next is a really big book, New Titans issue number 38. The Spark of Dakota City joins the New Titans crew, sending a shock to the team's dynamic. But the introduction is short lived before the team heads to Amazon for its first big mission. So, if you guys are a fan of Static Shock, it looks like he's joining the Titans, which is going to be super fun. The writer is Tate Bromble. The art is done by Sam Basri, and the cover is done by Torrin Clark. Here, you actually see the entire team. So we're not getting the classics anymore. I'm not sure what's happening to Beast Boy, Raven, Starfire, but it looks like they're departing the team, along with Donna Troy and Roy Harper. And now we have Terra, Nightwing, Cyborg, Static Shock, Spoiler. I forgot what they call her, but she's the new character, Wonder Girl, and then I forgot his name as well. But super cool cover by Torrin Clark, and it looks like Superboy is giving this the membership card to Static Shock. So this should be fun. This is a variant done by DK Ruan. It looks cool. Spotlight Static Shock. And then this is a variant done by Lucas Meyer, and it looks like Static Shock is dapping up Superboy, which looks super dope. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get the Torrin Clark one. I think it's very timeless, looks really nice, and I like how the whole team is showcased. So excited for this book. I think Tate Bromble has been doing a good job so far, and I like the shake-up. I like that we're getting new characters in the team, and it's a lot of characters that haven't seen the spotlight in quite a while, so it should be fun. Next is JSA number 22, who will take on the mantle of the Spectre. The wrath of the Spectre has ravaged the JSA. As the dust settles, one hero will step up and take on the mantle of the Spectre, but will they be able to control its fury? So it looks like the Spectre is going to have a new person underneath it. We'll see. The writer for this is Jeff Lemire. The artist is Diego Olortegui. The cover artist is Pete Woods. We actually don't have a variant for this book. But yeah, this is another book that I haven't been reading. If you're a fan of this, then that's great. A lot of people have been saying that this book might get canceled soon, maybe due to sales. We'll see. Hopefully not. You know, you never hope a book can get canceled, but I hope the audience of this book has been enjoying it. And if you love it, definitely support it, because I heard like it might be in the chopping block. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm not gonna be reading it just because I haven't been reading it since the beginning either. Next is Emperor Aquaman. Aquaman has become so powerful, even the gods have taken notice. Poseidon arrives in Atlantis to humble the lighthouse keeper's son in a fight that will span the stars and wreck the seas. I'm excited for this, okay? The artist is John Timms. The writer is Jeremy Adams. This cover is cool. It looks like Poseidon is throwing Aquaman into the crowd, or something's happening, but it looks like it's going to be an action-heavy issue. Stephen Verne does this variant, which looks nice. But yeah, excited for the main cover. We're also going to get a cover by Dan Quintana. And I think Dan Quintana has been super popular with Batman variants recently. I might be wrong, but we'll wait for his cover. But in the meantime, I'm just going to get this regular one. Adventures of Superman, Book of L, issue number 11. I believe there's one more issue left. I haven't been paying attention to this book, but this is the last piece of work from Philip Kennedy Johnson, because he signed a exclusive contract for Marvel. And the solicitation for this reads: Superman has traveled to the end of the universe to find the first god aspect of Algren and seek the aid of the Promethean giants in the fight to keep Krillux from rewriting all of existence. But there's more waiting for the House of L than any dared fear or hope. Okay, this looks cool. I haven't been reading it. Let me know if this is a good book. I might pick it up in trade. The cover is cool. And then this variant by Parillo and by Cian Tormi. So cool. Yeah, let me know if you guys have been reading this book. Is it worth getting into? I know there's one more issue left, but I might definitely pick it up in trade if you guys say it's good. Next is Batman and Superman World's Finest, issue number 54. It says Superman and Batman and their fellow Justice Leaguers are forced to compete in hell for the souls of all humanity in the wildest baseball game of all time. Billions of lives depend on an impossible victory against a team of the vilest, most gruesome demons in the entire underworld. Okay, this is going to be a fun book. The writer is Mark Waid. The artist is Bruno Frenda. The cover is done by Dan Mora, and it looks like they are really playing baseball, which is fun. This cover is done by Miguel Mercado. which showcases Batman, Superman, and Robin. And then this one is done by Adrian Gutierrez, who's the typical main artist for this book, but it looks like he's taking a break, and it showcases the baseball game. But I'm going to be getting the regular cover because the Dan Mora cover doesn't miss. Sounds like a fun book. They're going to be playing baseball for the faith of humanity. What can go wrong? Um, okay, it looks like we're pretty much almost done, guys. Yeah, there's a couple more books, and then I think we should be good. So thank you guys for bearing with me. I'm not gonna read the solicitations for the facsimile and the Vertigo books. It's strictly gonna be just on DC. So we're almost done. So thank you everyone for sticking around. Okay, so next is the miniseries that have been announced. This one is Clayface Celebrity Dirt, issue number 2. Basil Carlo tracks the man who stole his identity to the sets of Hollywood's hottest new film production. But getting close to Basil Carlo means sneaking onto the studio lot via forgotten underground tunnels and discovering the nightmare waiting underneath. Meanwhile, the new supplement is causing grotesque transformations across Los Angeles. Uh, Clayface's comeback is about to become a horror show as acclaimed writer Jude Ellison as Doyle and rising artist Frank Gallen continue bending genre and bodies. Continue bending genres and bodies. Okay. The writer Jude Ellison as Doyle, and the art is done by Frank Gallen. The cover is actually done by Dan Mora. Okay, Dan Mora. Dan Mora obviously doesn't rest. It looks like if he's not doing interior covers, he's doing like 20 variants, which I don't blame him because his art is incredible. So thank you, Dan Mora, for being such a workhorse. The cover is dope. And is this Mike Del Mundo? It has to be. Yeah, it's Mike Del Mundo. And then Hayden Sherman. Okay, wow, they really got some incredible artists to do these covers. This is nice because it's like they're burning the film tape. Okay, I like that. I might have to get the Dan Mora cover, but at the same time, I love this variant, and I know that underneath this will be the Dan Mora cover. I might have to get that. Yeah, I'm excited. I hope this book is good. Obviously, Clayface is getting a lot of love because a new series is coming from him, either a new series or a movie. But yeah, excited for this. And then last but not least is Batman and Robin Year 1 Dynamic Duos. Batman and Robin are back in action. The Dark Knight and the Boy Wonder have been hard at work cleaning up the streets of Gotham City, and their partnership has only gotten tighter. But when a gang of street kids starts causing mischief, Batman and Robin will need to get to the bottom of where these kids came from and who is in charge. Mark Waid and Chris Samney return to Gotham to tell another tale of the early days of the dynamic duo. So if you guys haven't been around and are new comic book fans, Chris Samney and Mark Waid have actually teamed up already to do Batman and Robin Year 1 last year. If you're interested in that team up, definitely get the trade paperback. It should be out now. But this is them returning to the book. It looks like it's going to focus on more of their team up aspect in Year 1. So it's Dick Grayson and Bruce Wayne teaming up, or Batman and Robin. But yeah, this is definitely an earlier days type of book. The writer is Mark Waid, the artist is Chris Samney, but I think the main selling point for this is the fact that Chris Samney is the artist. As you can see, this is his type of art, and a lot of people love it. It's very reminiscent of like kind of old school type of art, but at the same time with like a modern twist. I'm a huge fan of it. I might give issue number 1 a shot. This cover is done by Mark Silvestri. Dustin Nguyen does a cover as well, and then Hayden Sherman. I might have to get this Hayden Sherman cover. It's so nice. I don't think I have gotten any Hayden Sherman covers at all this time around, so definitely getting that. But yeah, as you guys see, that is the solicitations for this month. There's a lot of books that are coming out, and surprisingly, I'm picking up a lot of them. There's like maybe 1 or 2 that I'm not picking up, which sucks for my wallet because yikes. But like I said, DC hasn't missed at all in like quite a while. A lot of their books have been really, really good, and definitely it's resulting in me going broke, it looks like. But yeah, I'm excited for this. It's going to be a month of fun books. I'm excited. Let me know what you guys are going to be picking up. What's the most excited? Let me rephrase that. What book are you the most excited about? Are we excited about the Absolute books? Are we excited about the DC LM books? I personally think that for me, I'm mostly anticipating the Absolute Batman book because I like Clayface and I want to see what happens there. But a close second is definitely going to be Batman issue number 12. I really want to see who this character is. I hope it's Daphne Pennyworth, but we'll see. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Definitely like and subscribe if you haven't done so. I'm gonna be giving you more content like this. More solicitations are inbound as well for Image and Marvel, and I promise I'm gonna be putting on my glasses, so the next one I'll be able to read properly. I was just blind the entire time, but yeah, should be fun. Hope you enjoyed this video and let me know what's the solicitation that has you the most hyped. So until the next one, I'll catch you on my comic book haul tomorrow, or maybe possibly I'll catch you on my next solicitation video. Take care, everyone.